It gives me a kind of special feeling being in the heart of Napa. For me, this is heart of Napa, okay? With Chateauneuf de Papes wines. This is not meant to impress with Chateauneuf. I'm sure all of you had a chance to taste Chateauneuf de Papes wines. I think this is an opportunity to get familiar with all the wines in general from France, and especially from Chateauneuf de Papes. Knowing that the oldest is 49, and going up to 78. Almost all wines are made from 100% Grenache. And these days, Syrah was just a little Syrah. The other grape varieties were just mingled in the vineyards, treating the Grenache vines. What's interesting, when we start with the first bottle, it's 49, Patriarch. And Patriarch is a Burgundy. It's coming from Beaune. Interesting to know is at that time, and also starting from 1900, 1910, Burgundy got a lot of Chateauneuf de Papes by barrel, transported. And I can tell you, when you love all Burgundies, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, I think that's because sometimes more than 50% of Chateauneuf is in it. The winemakers there do not want to hear this, but that's true. That's true, I can guarantee you. What they also did, at that time in Chateauneuf de Papes were only a few estates, only the big name, Clos des Papes, Lanert, Vaudieu. They bottled wine, but just partly they had not a big production. So most of the wines were sold to negociants to enforce the Burgundy wines. Sometimes part of it went to Bordeaux as well, but they got a little bit more Hermitage. And negociant made as well own bottle of Chateauneuf de Papes, negociant. So they were not allowed to put the embossed logo, what was Chateauneuf famous for, the embossed logo on the bottle. They are not allowed to put this on the bottle. What's also interesting for the winemakers here, at the 1900s, 1910, they got paid by barrel by percentage of alcohol. So we see sometimes people think that at that time they did late harvest because of the weather. No, it was because they got more paid. So the alcohol level in these wines can be pretty high, or was high. Alcohol will, evaporate or whatever, what happens. But there has been some measurements done, and they think that already at that time 15-16% plus was no exception. Destemming, also for the winemakers, sometimes partly in the vineyards, especially 1910, 20, 30, and 40s, I think also, but most of the wines will not have been destemmed. And simple winemaker, in foeder aging for 10, 20 months, and then you have the problem with Chateauneuf de Papes. It stays too long in barrel, foeder. Sometimes they did not have the capacity to bottle, and I think that was a problem from when the production started, and they were selling all over the world more and more in the late 70s, 80s, 90s. They did bottle over a long period, and sometimes even 2-3 years. and there are exceptions, even 5 years. So you can imagine how different the wine is when you... And that's a problem with Chateauneuf du Pape, that you see that the bottle variation can be huge, can be really huge. Let's start with the first one. I think you will be all familiar with all wines. I hope. The only tip I want to give: be careful with swirling, because you know, too much air, they can be very vulnerable. So the Negociants, at that time they did not vinify themselves, so the wine was vinified in Chateauneuf du Pape. And it's only allowed to transport the wine. Chateauneuf du Pape was the first appellation contrôlé in France by Baron Leroy. And they protected themselves for, you know, at that time they experienced more problems with winemakers in the Rhône. They were copying Chateauneuf du Pape, and they wrote Chateauneuf du Pape on the label. So they decided to protect the appellation.
What were the ripest years in terms of the hottest years with the highest alcohols in that group?
You mean the best vintages in general?
Well, no, just which ones do you think have the highest alcohols?
No, I think when you go according to the vintage climate, I think you go, start from 70, 78 was a pretty warm vintage, 76, also 61 was a hot one, 59 as a 59, and 54, I think the highest alcohol will be in the 59, 61 and 78.
How about the 49? Was that
I think the 49 was in Chateauneuf du Pape hot, but a very short period. It's not a really long period, not compared with, you know...
Tommy, you know, we are so lucky. You know, we were talking about this over this little corner of the room. You know, there's sometimes a collector will go and pull out, I've got an old wine, he pulls out a 70 or an 80, and you get one. Or somebody may be very generous and pull out two. But Harry has brought an extraordinary number of wines. Some of you and I brought some older wines. And it's a wonderful experience. And I can't think of a more positive and wonderful time that, I mean, this is my favorite grape blend in the world, CDP. So it's like being in the sandbox. So thank you, Harry. Thank you, David. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Stefan.
There's a lot of great young Chateauneuf du Pape on the piano. Just go and help yourself, and there's tons of food there. Buffer that. Take it a little bit.
I don't think they take all of the breakfast.
Right.
So it's these things.